Alright, how's it going, guys? I almost forgot to film this. I was getting ready to go home and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta film this. Okay, so the challenge is to do this in less than 10 minutes. So, alright, so let's go ahead and just jump right in. Number one is just a basic distributive property. Remember, all polynomials and binomials can be multiplied with the distributive property. It just looks a little different. But for numbers 1 and 2, it's basic distributive property. So distribute your number or letter on the outside to everything on the inside. Number 1, you should get x squared plus 7x. Number 2, you should get 2c squared minus 5c. Alright, so number 3, you can either use distributive property or the box method. I actually had some people say the box throws them off. So I'm going to use distributive property on 3 and I'll use box on 4. I might do distributive on the left and box on the right. Okay, so distributing over here, I have a times a plus 3 plus 6 times a plus 3. So what you should see is that I have two of the same binomial because I distributed it to the two terms of the other binomial. So I split the other binomial apart. The a plus 3 is on either, is twice because I've distributed it. Okay, then I'm going to distribute my a and my 6, and I should get a squared plus 3a, and then plus 6a plus 18. Combine like terms. Final answer is a squared plus 9a plus 18. Okay, I'm going to do box over here. Okay, so after you have your box set up, y and y is y squared, 8 times y is 8y, negative 6 times y is negative 6y, and negative 6 times 8 is negative 48. And then combining like terms, we should get y squared plus 2y minus 48. Okay. All right, number 5. Again, another basic distributive property. I've got one term that I'm distributing to 3 others. So I should have 2m cubed minus 5m squared plus 2m. Okay. Number 6, I would set up, I don't know why I'm doing number 6 because I believe we did this one in class, but I guess for my people who have been absent or fell asleep during class. Of course, let's be honest, the people who fall asleep in class aren't watching this video either. Okay, so for people who missed this one, we're going to multiply and get our boxes filled in and then combine like terms again. So 3k squared times k would be 3k to the third minus 9k squared plus 7k. And then negative 1 times everything would end up with negative 3k squared plus 9k minus 7. And now the cool thing is, if your stuff's in standard form, now this is, again, this isn't 100% of the time, but if your stuff is in standard form, then 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to add just the boxes, like diagonally. Doesn't work 100% of the time. And I'll actually do 7 in box form so you can see that. Let's see, this is negative 12k squared plus 16k minus 7. All right, so we'll do 7 in box form too, just so you can see that. And then again, it doesn't matter which factor or which polynomial is on which side, as long as you have one on each side. Okay, so when we multiply, we should have 10w to the 5th, because when you multiply, you add your exponents, minus 35w to the 3rd minus 2w squared plus 7. So this time, these are not like terms, but there are no like terms at all. It's just because we had two different exponents here that we multiplied against. So we're just going to write them out. And we're going to try to keep it in standard form. It's just so much easier to read. Okay, so we'll do a distributive property example for number 8. So I'm going to distribute this to all three terms in my polynomial. So this will be 4x squared times 2x minus 7 minus 3x times 2x minus 7 minus 9 times 2x minus 7. Okay. And then you can distribute, or well, you should distribute your term on the outside to everything on the inside of each set of parentheses. So it's kind of a double distribution. So 4x squared times 2x is going to be 8x cubed minus 7 times 4 is 28. X squared, I'm carrying that x squared over. Okay, here I should have negative 3 times 2x is going to give me negative 6x squared. Negative 3 times negative 7 is going to be positive 21, and I'm going to carry the x over. Negative 9 times 2x should be negative 18x. Negative 9 times negative 7 is going to be positive 63. And then you're just going to combine your like terms. So this is why I like the box method, because it's already set up all nice and pretty for you, but it is what it is. So we have 8x cubed, we have negative 28 and negative 6 should be negative 34x squared. 21 and negative 18 should be positive 3x. Is that right? Yes, yeah. And then at the end we should have plus 63. Okay. All right. So number 9, I'll do this one as distributive property too for my people who like that. If you don't like using distributive property, please feel free to use the box method. We're still going to do two separate problems. So we're going to do z plus 2 times z minus 3 first. So I'm going to distribute this, and that should give me z times z plus 2 minus minus 3 times z plus 2. I almost wrote that wrong. Okay. And then we'll distribute our z and get z squared plus 2z. And we'll distribute our negative 3 and get minus 3z minus 6. Combine my like terms, I should have z squared minus z minus 6. Okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and multiply it by z plus 1. So I'm going to take the z plus 1 and distribute it to all three terms. And this should be z squared times z plus 1 minus z times z plus 1 minus 6 times z plus 1. I'm running out of room here. And remember, I prefer box because you see how messy this is? Like, again, if this is your jam, go for it. I just don't like it because it's so messy and hard to keep up with. So z squared times z is z cubed. Z squared times 1 is z squared. Negative z times z is negative z squared. Negative z times 1 is negative z. Negative 6 times z is negative 6z. And negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. And when I combine like terms, these cancel, these combine, and my final answer is z cubed minus z, no, I'm sorry, minus 7z minus 6. I didn't realize, I forgot I didn't combine that yet. Okay. That's going to be just over, guys. Dang it. Okay, so number 10 we're going to do with the box method. However, those of you that want to argue with me, you can stop it at 10 minutes because I've already done this one in class. So there we go. All right. 2g times g is 2g squared. 2g times 2 is 4g. G times negative 3 is negative 3g. And 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Combining like terms, I should get 2g squared plus g minus 6. I'm going to multiply that by this third binomial. Sorry, and part of this is getting it set up, so. All right, 2g squared times 2g is 4g cubed. 2g times g is going to be 2g squared. This will be negative 12g. 2g squared times 1 is 2g squared. And g and negative 6. And if you combine like terms, you end up with 4g cubed plus 4g squared minus 11g minus 6. All right, so I'm a minute and a half over, but you know what? Still improved. So you guys have a good evening, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.